Hi, I'm Rebecca Hidalgo Rains, and I'm coming to you today to talk to you about credit repair. I'm not a credit repair specialist, but I know enough to be dangerous. And I want to share with you guys some really simple things that you can do yourself without having to spend a whole bunch of money. I tell people this all the time, whether it's, even my kids, whether it's because you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to buy something, these days it all boils down to what your FICO score is. If you don't know what a FICO score is, it's basically how they rate whether they're going to loan you money or not. Most of us know a FICO score can really hurt if you have a bad one. Things to avoid to not have bad ones is not using credit. Number one predicament for a lot of people is just maybe they're young kids, like my daughter's 20, and I've really harped hard on her on how to establish credit because going through this world without any credit can make life really challenging. So number one thing that you need to do is stop paying cash for everything. I always recommend, and I do this myself, I have a couple credit cards that I actually pay every month off. That helps shoot your score up tremendously. Maybe you're not somebody who can afford to pay everything off every month, but like little things, like maybe you start off small. A lot of times they won't even give you credit unless you have a secured credit card to start with. So it's almost like a savings account. There's a lot of them out there. You just mail them a check for $200 and you start little by little building it up. When you do that, maybe you just use it for gas, it just kind of becomes your gas card, and every month you have that budget just to pay it off every month. So little by little, you're starting off credit. There are definitely certain stores that are known to help you establish credit. I think Kohl's is one of them. Home Depot's another one. You just have to use it, even if it's just $10 a month and you pay it off. That is huge. Because in the world of the FICO score, another thing they don't like is, they don't like people who don't use credit, which is so silly because you think, well, you don't use it or abuse it, so why not give it to you? Well, if they don't have a history on you, they don't want to give you credit. The problem too, though, lies when you go the other spectrum and use it too much. And next thing you know, all your credit cards are maxed. So then you're looking to get another credit card because you're trying to figure out how to pay for something and you don't have any credit available. Guess what? You guys probably have the worst scores because your FICO score is heavily dependent on if all your credit cards are maxed because they look at you as a bad risk. Being in this industry that I'm in real estate, I see how detrimental it is when you don't have a good FICO score because a lot of loan programs out there will give you a rate based off of your score. So you really kind of want to be the monkey in the middle and don't go to one extreme or the other. You want to have a healthy balance. And those are the people that actually have like 800 FICO scores. So really in the whole spectrum of the FICO world, you start in the 4s as the worst, like if you have a whole bunch of open collections, bad debt, maybe you just filed for bankruptcy or you're getting ready to and you have a ton of unpaid stuff, you're going to be probably below 5. And then those who have awesome credit, probably people who don't even need to be listening to this video, are over 8. The majority of us land somewhere in the 6s, maybe a handful of us into the 7s. So this is how it works, especially when you're looking to buy a house. If you get over a 720 FICO score, you can pretty much name any loan program as long as your income qualifies you for it, and you get the best rate that's out there. 720 to 800, you're golden. If you are 680 to 700, it's kind of like having a B score, if you will. If you're 660 to 680, you're kind of like a C student. Not the end of the world, but you're probably going to be sticking with government loans that won't affect you as far as your interest rate is concerned. And those of you who are under a 640 may not even get a loan, even if you have the income and the money in the bank, because your score is just not good enough. So these are the things that I recommend you do because I learned the hard way. I joke all the time. There's that movie Get Short that talks about the collapse of the market. At one point in my life, thank God it's been like over 10 years now, I actually had 7 properties that were in pre-foreclosure. They weren't worth what I owed on them. I had tenants not paying me. Oh my gosh, I went from an 800 to a 4-something overnight, it felt like, and it was traumatic for me, but I came back from it. And the things that I learned coming back from it, I have shared with my own clients to help them. Again, I'm not in the credit world, but I do help people buy and sell houses, and as a result, I have learned how to help them, and that's why I'm sharing the information with you. So one thing I learned really quick is you don't have to pay for any company to get a look at your credit report. Once a year, you can go to the FTC website and get a credit report from each of the three bureaus, free of charge. And you need to go through each report and make sure everything that's on there is accurate. A lot of times they report inaccuracies which hurt your credit. Maybe you paid off a credit card and it still shows open. Things of that nature, or you paid something off and closed it. So you need to go through each report. And if you need to file a dispute these days, they make it so easy, you can just do it online. Like I remember back in the day doing it, like printing it hard copy and having to mail in letters. And the funny thing is if you dispute something and the creditor doesn't respond, that's kind of a little bit of a game, like maybe it's a little true, but you don't want to admit it and you're trying to get it off. You dispute it. If the creditor doesn't respond to the bureau within 30 days, the bureau has no choice but to remove it from your credit report entirely. So these are things that you can do yourself, cost you no money. Once a year, go to the FTC website. I'll make sure to post the link. I've talked about it before. And look at every one of your credit reports from each bureau. Dispute anything that's wrong, or maybe you're just hoping it will go away if you dispute it and they don't respond. That's kind of a little bit of a game. But I will tell you that I have seen past clients, and even someone who works for me, we helped her get her first house, and we use the services of Go Clean Credit. I find personally, I believe that they're one of the top credit companies, at least in the Valley, in the Sun, in Arizona. I don't know if they do work outside of Arizona, but I'm sure there's plenty of them out there like this, and they are not a monthly service. Personally, I've seen bad experiences with monthly services. I know there's Consumer Credit Counseling Service that is a 503c, I believe, or 503, 501c, whatever. They're like basically somebody that's not supposed to be making a lot of money off of the gig. And they have a good service for people who are maybe pre-bankruptcy. And you know, for some people, bankruptcy is just the way to go if there's just no foreseeable way to get out of debt. I actually had to do it myself before. You know, when I had all those properties, I had an ex-husband, he wasn't helping me out, and you can actually rebound from a bankruptcy faster than you can a lot of times from a credit consumer program that takes 4 to 5 years to get out of, because what every bureau is looking at is when you reestablish good credit. That's where you get those secured credit cards. That's maybe where you get your baby credit card from Kohl's or Home Depot. Those will help you rebound. So it's really where you start your good credit history. And then there is the statute of limitations. There is 7 years that the bad stuff stays on your report. So for me, I think it was 2016 when finally everything fell off that was bad, and I was back up into the 800 range. So I have learned from my own experience in helping my own clients so they could get themselves better loans for the homes that they wanted to buy. But Go Clean Credit, what I like about them is they are an attorney-based firm. They don't charge you monthly, but they basically individualize like a to-do list, if you will, and help you based off of your needs. And so somebody who worked for me, we put her, just to test it out, we put her through their services, and they had 19 derogatories taken off of her report that she couldn't get off herself from being divorced with an ex-husband, and she was able to buy her first house. That was pretty darn cool. So I do worry about those monthly programs. I haven't seen very much success with them, but the ones that are attorney-based are definitely the way to go after you've already done the things that I'm recommending, like going on the FTC website. Don't spend if you can do it yourself. See where you land after that. And then if you still have stuff that just can't come off or you want to try to get help, a lot of times too, one last key I want to give you is if you have something bad on there, usually you can negotiate directly with the company to have them actually remove it off your credit report. If you agree to a settlement, you pay them off. So those are some things, some tools that I know those credit counseling companies will help you with. And I recommend that you are credit healthy. Because again, if you don't use credit, when you really want to go buy something important like a house, you can't because you don't have it established. And if you've used it too much and have kind of abused it, getting back to where you need to be is so critical. I actually have a really cool chart that Go Clean provided me when we did like a little seminar for a bunch of people who were trying to clean up their credit. And it was so explained so well to me about how, 20% of your credit FICO score is derived from this category and then another 20 from this category. It was kind of like took away the mystery. For some reason, it's so mysterious. So I want to help you guys figure out that mystery. Hope all this information helps and you guys can work your way into getting the best interest rates out there for when you want to buy something important like a house or a car. Thank you.